Yeah, group hug.
Tech here at the Microsoft party. We just got through testing out some Gears of War Judgment, the overrun mode, and I'm here with Rod Fergusson, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what to expect from the new game and the new mode.
Oh, well, you got to see it. I mean, there's a lot to see. I mean, it's basically it's the co-op Horde and co-op Beast mashed together and made competitive in Overrun. And then on top of that, we've something completely different is we've made it the cog be class-based. So now you can play as the scout or the engineer or the medic or the soldier. And so you get all these different special abilities you can use to work together to defend against the Locust.
Very cool. As a fan of Horde mode and even Beast mode in Gears 3, just to have them mashed up together just seems like a dream come true, and having the chance to actually play it is a thrill. Seeing the new class system, that's totally something new for you guys. What was the inspiration for just going that route?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of different inspirations, actually. One was this idea we have right at the studio right now, which is play your way, is that not everybody is a Twitch gamer. Not everybody is the fastest shooter, the most accurate, which is certainly me at my age. So the ability to play a support role, the ability to be an engineer, I repair fences, or the soldier can throw out ammo, the medic can heal people and revive people. So that was part of it, and then the other part was just making the mode work. Like, we looked at trying to do this kind of a mode in Gears 3, and it just wasn't working for us, and so we had sort of let it stay on the shelf while we shipped Horde and Beast. And then every time we did press, anytime we talked to the fans, we're like, hey, how about Horde versus Beast? And we're like, okay, a lot of people want this, so let's try to figure it out. And it really took us kind of, because the Locusts were already in kind of classes with the Candace being the healer and the Ticker being the assault creature and all that kind of stuff, we were like maybe if we make the cog be classes, it'll work as well and help kind of make the balance work, and sure enough, it did.
Well, now, will there be multiple characters in terms of the classes, or is it going to stick to the main members of Kilo Squad that we see?
That's something we're still playing with. I mean, there's definitely going to be a lot of customization in Judgment, both in a bunch of in ways that and new ways. And so we're still talking about, like, we like the idea that visuals, when you see Cole, there's a soldier coming at you and what they'll be able to do. So we're sort of trying to trade off and have that discussion about, is it better to have that instant recognition about what class that is, or is it better to allow people to change it up? And so we're still playing with that.
Cole with his boom shot, am I right?
Right now, but we'll have some prizes along the way. We're still messing with weapons too.
Okay. As naturally having Baird be the engineer, that's his position. And then going into the campaign, if we could talk about single player a bit, making Baird the main character this time.
Sure.
Is it just because fans love him? Is that why you guys put him at the forefront this time around?
Yeah, it's a little mixture. There's basically three things went into it. One is he's a company favorite. He's like I'm a sarcastic bastard too, and so I love Baird. When we did a post survey on Gears of War 3 with customers, and we got back that he was actually the #1 male character, and so we're like, okay, the fans love him as well. And then we just look at the stories that we've already told. Marcus' story has been told, Dom's story has been told. We even got the flashback of Cole in the locker room, so we got a little bit of his backstory, and we're like, who have we not really explored? And Baird is really the one that's sort of been left out. And so we said, let's focus on Baird. And then we said, okay, now find a time. And 14 years before Gears of War 1, it was like this great prequel, like just after E-Day. It felt like a time we hadn't explored yet. So it was a good character in a good place.
Very cool. Now, like you said, this is still Locust War.
Right.
Do you think at some point, I know myself as a fan, do you think at some point you might explore the Pendulum Wars with the Civil War with the humans on Sarah?
I'm a big believer in that never say never, but right now when we talked about that for Judgment, because we actually have some UIR, like one of the characters is former UIR, and so we talked about it, but we just felt like, what makes Gears is the fact that we have monsters, and so we felt like we still wanted to have that element in the game.
Now, we've talked about some changes from 3 to Judgment in terms of multiplayer. Is there anything new we can expect in single player?
Oh, a lot. I mean, we were kind of changing how we tell storytelling. So Gears 3 was very cinematic driven, very scripted. We had over 90 minutes of cinematics in Gears of War 3. We had our own little movie inside the entire game. And so this time we're kind of going back to being a little bit more about telling the story inside of the game. And so it's kind of a throwback to Gears 1 in terms of the action and the pacing. So it's a lot more about visceral action, what we call sweaty palms. It's about very being tense and rediscovering the Locust as an enemy that you fear. Like after 6 years with the Locust in the trilogy, they kind of became what I call like the soldiers in a World War II game. It's like, yeah, they're supposed to be bad, but there's people, there's just an enemy that I'm very familiar with that I'm shooting. But now, so we wanted to make the Locust scary again. And so now we've changed like the health and the damage and those sorts of things. So now when one wretch comes into the room, you're like freaking out. So it has that feeling like, hey, we've only known this enemy for a couple of months, and we're still afraid of them.
Well, very cool. Well, we're looking forward to it, man. I'm a
right.
big fan of the Gears series and
Thanks. Yeah,
excited.
well, March 2013, so people get their hands on it.
All right, can't wait. Thanks very much.